thank you for tuning in to the Swish Masters Podcast, and of course, thanks to our sponsor, SS96. Use the promo code Swish Masters. That's right, Swish Masters, the name of the podcast, for 15% off today on all merch at ss96.net. Also, be sure to follow Straight Stoner as well as Xzequtive Productions on all socials. See you soon, and thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. What up, what up? Welcome to the Swish Masters Podcast. It's your boy Zay, the executive producer here.
I'm QtheGuru. Thank you so much for tuning in. Zay, we're still giving our preview and pregame analysis of all these playoff series, right? We covered part 1. Make sure y'all go check that out again in our previous podcast. Today, we're going over majority of the Western teams in these Western games, which went underway yesterday. We saw a lot of these games yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of glad we didn't do our podcast because there are a lot of developments that happened in these games that took place in game 1. So
for sure,
I'm glad we didn't. But let's go ahead and talk about some of these games and our predictions for the rest of the series. So one of the first games that happened yesterday was Lakers Grizzlies, right? Unfortunately, in this game, we saw Morant go down, which is very unfortunate. Remember, the Grizzlies are also without several key players, Steven Adams, for example, who I think would make a huge difference in this series. So, all right. So, concerning the Lakers did win game 1 and how good the Lakers look, particularly some of their role players like Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura. So, Zay, what's your outlook on the series now, considering how game 1 played out?
Initially, I'm thinking even without Steven Adams being another big to be in the rotation, to have that size going down the depth chart, I had the Grizzlies pretty much handling the series. But with the potential loss of Joel Morant, I know he went out with a hand or wrist injury. Still, hoping that everything is well and we get an update on that. But looking at the Lakers, I'm pleasantly surprised by how well they played throughout the game, in particular down the stretch. Once they kind of gained that momentum, they didn't look back. And it wasn't like it was just everything feeding through LeBron. The good thing about this is that, for the Lakers at least, seeing that Austin Reeves, seeing Hachimura have his probably biggest game as a Laker come, and with such a crucial series, they are expected to be the underdog, of course, the 7th seed, playing second best team in the West. But it was really cool to see that Austin Reeves really came to his own, kind of just facilitating, making plays, making shots when they count. Hachimura stepping up in a big way. Anthony Davis also had an injury, but thankfully it wasn't anything that would cause him to be out. He was able to return in the same game. But it makes me think, man, if Ja isn't back, and if the rest of the Grizzlies squad with Jaren Jackson Jr. having a good game yesterday, if they can't rally together during this, they could be. I'm surprised I'm saying this. They could be bouncing the first round as the 2nd seed, because the Lakers looked very composed yesterday, and I'm pretty surprised right now. So if Ja doesn't return, I think that they could make this a 6-7 game series, and maybe the Lakers, potentially win the series. If Ja returns, I think Memphis still has a shot if he's 80+% like healthy. Because to me, they have to be better as a team outside of Ja's production. Like Jaren Jackson Jr. had a monster game, and Desmond Bane was on. They just kind of collapsed in that later second half because they were in it until like the last few minutes. They just kind of like lost steam. So if the Grizzlies can make that adjustment, they still can hold off. But if not, the Lakers may be able to take them in this first round for real.
Yeah. Part of it, can the Lakers supporting cast continue this type of play? Because as you know, like you mentioned, like you need help to win the championship. Jaren Jackson Jr. can't do it by himself. Same thing with the Lakers. Can Rui Hachimura give you any resemblance of this production again throughout the rest of the series? Can Austin Reeves be as effective as he has been in this series? That matters a lot. Supporting class and role players mean a lot in playoff series, and you see that with all these games that we've seen this past weekend. Honestly, there's been a constant theme. But focusing on this game, Wolves reported that it's significant doubt that Ja will play game 2. So he'll definitely be out for game 2. Maybe he'll return for the road trip when they go to LA. A lot of it does depend on the health of Ja.
Yeah.
Before Ja's injury, though, I think I was leaning towards I was looking at this to be maybe a 7-game series between the Grizzlies and Lakers before, and I was gonna give the advantage to Memphis just because of the home court advantage. That was my thoughts on the series, and looking at just how the Grizzlies have played in the past. Even without like some of the key players, they just win all the time. They know how to win, so I was just going to rely on that for the most part. But if Ja's health is in the air, I'm right there with you. Like, Lakers should win this series. And it could go fairly quickly, depending on how things turn out. But the Grizzlies still do have good, talented players on this team, though. I feel like they can at least get a game or two without Ja Morant. So it should be at least a 6-game series, I think. Because if Jaren Jackson Jr. can have good games and someone else to help him, they'll be right there.
Yeah.
But it's not enough to win the whole series against LeBron James-led team and Anthony Davis. So that's where I'm at. So right now, I would say Lakers in like potentially 6 or 7, depending on how Grizzlies play. So like, I'd say Lakers in 6. But if Ja comes back healthy, he's like at least 80%. And I give the Grizzlies a good chance to win the series. Like, Grizzlies in 7. Because they lost home court advantage now. So they'll have to try to regain it and get it to a game 7 probably.
For sure. I think we're on the same page. I think for me personally, I like I said, my initial pick was Grizzlies before seeing the injury and how the rest of the players reacted.
Yep.
But I think if the Grizzlies can take a book out of the Lakers, out of honestly Hachimura and Reeves in particular, take a page out of their book and have, obviously Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to get his numbers and he's going to make his impact. Desmond Bane, we saw flashes of that, but who can be that next guy after that? After those guys, basically, who's going to be the person to fill that void to kind of help? Is it going to be Tyus Jones? Is he going to have a significant role as a starting point guard? Who's going to be that other option to go to produce something? Not even like scoring points, but just making plays. Who's that going to be for them? So hopefully they will find out. But I'm rooting for them. But right now it's like, that puts the Lakers in favor for sure.
Yeah, I guess at this point we also have to challenge like Dylan Brooks.
Yep.
he kind of has to step up even more so now, especially after it wasn't really billboard material or headline material when he like talked about he would like to play the Lakers and he would like to knock out LeBron in the first round.
Right.
If that's stepping for Char now without Morant, so he really needs to step up at least. If he gives you anything on offense, that'd be great. But I'm talking about defensively for the most part. You make those like game-winning plays on defense, like that'll help this team out a lot. And as far as scoring, I'm looking at like you said, Jones, and I'm looking at Luke Kennard. Like they can provide scoring options. So looking at those players for sure. Yeah, somebody has to step up.
Absolutely.
I think they can do it. I think these players can do it. But we just have to see. All depends on the health of Morant about this series. So yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
So the Miami Heat did defeat the Bucks in Game 1. However, Giannis was not a factor in this game at all, and is in the air right now about his availability. But Zay, give us your outlook on this series between your Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks.
I'm happy we were able to go into Milwaukee and still won, for sure. I think that Jimmy increased his usage, which was good. Got us some buckets down the stretch, made winning plays. Bam was present. Kevin Love came off the bench and made a difference. So overall, I'm pleased with how we produced. Still see some holes in the defense. Middleton was cooking for like the first or third quarter. Don't like that. And of course, Giannis being out played well in our favor. Their team wasn't able to exactly get a boost out of that. I do hope that Giannis is okay. I didn't like the charge, the call. That's a scary fall, especially as a dude like him, super athletic, high in the air, coming down on your back like that. I do hope he's okay, able to return. But I am happy for my Heat. I know that they're capable of these types of games. They just have to be consistent, be present, come into it with this winning mentality, and going all out. We also lost Tyler Hero to a broken hand, which was like, that's crazy. Hoping, for a speedy recovery for him as well. But overall, I was pleased with our offensive put out, but the next game is going to be 10 times harder. So you got to be ready for a fight and 100% more, 110% each possession. So you got to be more effective on defense, get these guys out of the paint, and make Middleton's looks much harder, especially if Giannis is not going to be in the game. He's going to be the next focal point, and try to also, we just got to keep these guys out of the paint. They have size. I'd rather them beat us from the 3-point line than them going down to Brook Lopez and him getting 20 in the post. So we just have to keep them out of the paints. That's the same thing as if Giannis was still playing. So they have size, man. They got a big team. But we just have to play big on defense. Go all out.
Yeah. I'll say this too. There's a more positive outlook on Giannis returning than for Ja, who we just talked about. So Giannis could and will most likely return in this series. And if he does, you have to imagine he'll be limited in some way though. But just his presence on the floor means a lot. So, and like you said, the Heat do lack size, and if the Bucks take advantage of that, it's basically it. Honestly,
yeah. We don't have much answers for that.
But still, though, it is good. Y'all did take advantage of the opportunity and still win the game yesterday.
Yeah.
So you did what you had to do, but like you said, Chris Middleton, he's the next man up for sure. He kind of showed a flash of that. 33 points in 33 minutes. It's a huge sign. And we have to remember Drew Holiday has had some monster performances in the regular season, and I have to imagine that he'll step up as well. So this Bucks team, with this depth, is still formidable. So it's going to be hard. Yes, it's going to be really hard. So for me, even with Giannis' availability being the question, sorry, dude. It's hard for me to see the Bucks like not come out on the other end of this, particularly just because of Kevin Love was a huge factor in that game. Can Kevin Love keep doing it? That's my main thing. Like, my main question is supporting cast for the Heat.
Yeah.
I believe the support cast for the Bucks is more consistent than the Heat because we've seen it all regular season. So
sure.
If y'all can keep it up, good chance. Y'all have a great chance. It's just that I don't know.
Yeah.
We have purely objective about it, man. It's like I still see the Bucks still coming out on the other hand. But y'all have a great advantage right now. You gotta try to keep home court at this point. That should be the main goal.
Absolutely. I respect that, man. The Bucks are obviously a formidable team, number one team in the league. Got one of the best players in the world. Honestly, 2 defensive player of the year candidates in Drew Holiday and Brook Lopez. Middleton also fierce on defense. They have depth, they have size, they have shooting, they have 3-and-D. They've got a lot. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like they are not who they are. But I'm still going Heat in 7, as I know that Jimmy Butler can make things happen. And if we can just be a consistent team, play hard nose ball, and make the most of these opportunities, seeing Duncan Robinson get in the game, knocking down a 3 is it gives me hope for the future. So Heat in 7. It's gonna be a hard series, but Heat in 7. I'm here. Representing always.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And you got Heat in 7. I got Bucks and I'll say 7. Being very respectful. Being very respectful. All right. We also saw the matchup between the Phoenix Suns and the Los Angeles Clippers. And honestly, before game 1, I'm not sure what your analysis would have been. I'm pretty sure most people will favor the Phoenix Suns, and rightfully so. Particularly because the Clippers are without Paul George in this series. So, man, this game was so exciting. Game 1, it was so good. The Clippers got up like pretty significantly early in the game. So, thanks to the help of the others, really. And this Clippers team has so much depth on it, and there's some players that didn't even play, like Robert Covington. He didn't even play yesterday. He didn't play in game 1, but that's another piece. That's a 3D wing that can contribute. So it's tough.
Yeah. To say the least.
Shout out to Russell Westbrook. Made some key plays down the stretch. Shows you that scoring isn't the only way to be effective in the game.
Sure.
Kawhi showed us that why he's still one of the best players in the league. Like, for real. Healthy Kawhi Leonard is one of the best players in the league.
Absolutely.
We can talk about. I don't like some of the things I saw from the Suns, like Devin Booker, for example. Instead of just I wish I saw more poise from him instead of
Mm,
going to like on that play. I'm sure you all have seen a lot by now, where Russell Westbrook gets a block. Immediately, Devin Booker turns towards the ref to complain. It's a live ball, and Russ makes a spectacular play. Instead of Devin just assuming that the ball's going out and he'll be their ball again, right?
yeah.
Like, I don't like that. Uh, Things like that have to like get a lot better for me. And DeAndre Ayton gotta be way more effective. You're a big man. Can't be getting yourself out rebounded by these guards. That
Yeah.
can happen. So, um, I'm rooting for Russ, and I like, I'm an OKC fan, and I personally really like Russell Westbrook, but there's no way that the Suns team should lose to this Clipper squad without Paul George. Now, if they had Paul George, it'd be different.
Yeah.
I would say, okay, yeah, this can be a very, very, very competitive series. I mean, it's still competitive. I'm just saying, like, I would give the Clippers more of a chance, but the Clippers without Paul George,
Yeah.
can you imagine this Phoenix Suns team loses to this team without Paul George, who's already ruled out the whole series, by the way, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But this Suns team should still win since they lost home court advantage. The Suns still have the ability to win in like 6. Based on pure talent alone, they can. So I say like Suns in 6 for sure.
Okay.
If they let this get to a 7 game, it'll be highly in the Clippers' favor. In my opinion, like it shouldn't stretch that long.
I got you. I mean,
It shouldn't. Now I'm saying
it shouldn't. But as we can see, man, the Clippers, they have something to prove. In particular, I think Kawhi Leonard has a lot to prove. He give you almost 40 in this first game. The knee is looking good. I agree with you for a lot of your points, man. I feel like DeAndre Ayton should really be taking his matchup seriously. Him versus Zubac should be very present in his mind because this is to me, I think Zubac is one of the best bigs or rebounding bigs in the game. So he's good around the rim. You want to take up that challenge if you're the next big man in the league, as he, should be trying to do so he can keep building his brand up. So that's one thing. I definitely see that DeAndre Ayton has to be more present. The other thing, I'm gonna go a different direction. KD had a great game, honestly, but where did the offensive mindset go? This dude didn't touch the ball, but like that 1-3 he had late in the clutch?
Right.
The dude's been cooking all game, and y'all just didn't go back to him because why? That's another thing that I feel like the problem with Phoenix, right?
Mm-hmm.
They obviously on paper you got Chris Paul, you got DeAndre Ayton, you got Devin Booker, you got Kevin Durant. Oh yeah, they should be winning. But in reality, how many games have they played together? And now they're in the big boy stages. They're in the playoffs, and you playing against one of the premier two-way players in the league, another player that is a Hall of Fame, first bound Hall of Fame player in Russell Westbrook, who has something to prove, who hadn't played in the playoffs, or at least played significant basketball until now. Those guys know what's at stake. They have a lot that they're going to put into what they're trying to do here and trying to win. Phoenix, on the other hand, I feel like they're still trying to gel, still trying to figure out, all right, who's getting what, and then they just kind of like forgot they had Kevin Durant, which is like baffling, of course, to the commoner. But it's like, all right, well, of course, the motion of the game. If other guys are hitting, that's fine, but it shouldn't have been like. However, I can't remember exactly how long it was, but he went many possessions without even like touching the ball. So it's like, if he's going, why not go to him? Why not run something through him? And then Book, like you said, I agree with you. You can't just look for a call when something doesn't go your way. If you didn't hear a whistle, the ball is live. The ball is going, and you have to find another way to make a play. And Devin Booker knows. Devin Booker is fine. I don't think he's going to make that mental mistake again, but it was very disappointing to see. Chris Paul didn't have a significant scoring output, but he just really has to make winning plays by creating these shots for Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, pick and roll for Aiden, and then just being a pest on defense. Like they have what it takes. I think that the Clippers still have a lot of depth, even though they're missing Paul George. I believe in Russell Westbrook, even if he's not having the best shooting game. As we can see, there are many other ways to impact the game. But the thing for the Clippers is not just those two. Eric Gordon stepped up. Norman Powell stepped up. Like it really comes down to, all right, if you're missing, especially when you're missing a star like that, who's going to make some shots? Who's going to get some deflections? Who is going to get the rebounds? Like, somebody has to just fill the void, and it doesn't matter who that is, but someone has to show up. And I'm looking at Phoenix like, hey, if Kevin Durant's going, get the ball to Kevin Durant, right? But also, Torrey Craig, Landry Shamet, let's get some open looks. Let's knock them down. That's what it comes down to. But I think this is going to be more of a defensive scheme where winning plays are made, because it's going to be a lot of offense. Kawhi can score it anywhere. Russell Westbrook can get it going. Booker, Durant, all those guys, like great scoring options. But I think the Suns can rally it together. This was their first game losing with Kevin Durant in the lineup, so we'll see how it goes. But I think they should be able to pull it off. But I think the Clippers are going to make this a lot harder than what they expected. So I'm going Suns in 7.
Suns in 7, yeah. We're on the same page. There's no way the Suns should lose this series.
They shouldn't.
They should not. And good point about CP3. Like, you think he would have he should know who to get the ball to. So I feel like that would be an adjustment. And the Suns defensively will switch some things up, like double Kawhi more often, shade him, like throw different bodies at him, challenge him. I think Kawhi is smart enough to make the right play still. And they did double him some instances. They tried to late in the game, but he still ended up making some winning plays down the stretch. But you have to do that more often early in the game, though, not just late.
Yeah.
So that's one thing the Suns can do. Challenge KD to like kind of be the primary defender on Kawhi, because like other than who else you really have, honestly.
Yeah.
To guard Kawhi, you really don't have anyone else. You gave away all that depth.
Yeah,
you don't have Bridges anymore. So like,
it's hurting.
So it's really up to KD. So KD needs to take that challenge as well, and it's on KD to be more assertive and demand the ball. KD is like in the flow, in the game type of player. Like, let the game flow, and I love and respect that. But some cases, like, just gotta demand it. Like, give it here. So I expect that he'll adjust.
Yeah.
I saw a stat. You go ahead.
Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. I saw a stat. This doesn't really hold a lot of weight, but that's the 7th straight game that Kevin Durant has lost in the playoffs. I'm like, really? And in all these games, he's averaged at least 30 plus. And that's tough considering the teams he's had in this little stretch of a loss.
Yeah.
Kyrie, James Harden, like these teams that he's had and he's played with. Like, and I'm comparing that Nets team to this Clippers team, to this Suns team. And I could make an argument that Nets team was kind of better.
Mm.
And if that Nets team was better, and with what we have with the Suns team, it's like, just questioning some things a little bit, because I can make an argument for real that the Nets team that got swept by the Celtics was better because they had more depth. To me, they had more depth than the Suns team has right now. Talent wise, you can argue Kyrie Irving versus Devin Booker. For me, I'm going towards Kyrie. I can understand if people say that's a toss up or they'll prefer Devin Booker, but I feel like most people maybe prefer Kyrie, but that's just me. And the only difference I can see right now is coaching. Coaching was the main difference between these two teams, I think. So Monty Williams, I think, is a better coach than Steve Nash was then. But man, yeah, that's just something to question though, because like I was just putting that out there. But this team should not lose. If they lose, man, they
can't give up. They can't give Kawhi the opportunity to drop 30.
No, they can't. That's what I'm saying. They have to double early. You know what I'm saying? They have to deny the ball.
If I'm the Suns, and obviously we know what Kawhi wants. Either he wants to get a layup, either he wants to post on the block and get a turnaround jumper, or he's just going to face up, crossover, mid-range. And obviously, you want to try to push him out to the three. If he gets the ball within the 3-point line in the paint, I'm trying to force him to a baseline. I'm trying to give him double coverage on the baseline, like give him less visibility. Because I feel like if he's top of the key, he's money. But I'm trying to get him in the corner, short corner, trap him on the baseline, make him step out, make him force another player to beat you, like force him to shoot over the goal, like something like. That's what I'm doing. I would push him there. And honestly, he can make shots from wherever. But
he can. I was about to say that too. That's no guarantee either. But you just gotta do something to slow Kawhi down to not get.
I just don't want him getting any like front end of the rim looks. If I'm the Suns, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to make him go baseline, and I can try to either force him to turn it over, pass it up, or make a very difficult shot, which he can do. But slow him down. It's not like he's not gonna get. He's gonna score. You gotta give him. He's one of the best players in the league. But make it tough on him, and make the other guys be the ones that have to step up.
Right.
Because you limit. If Kawhi gives me 24, but the rest of your team combines for 40, I'm okay with that. But I can't have Eric Gordon also getting 6 threes in the game, and Kawhi also dropping 40. So, we'll see.
Two main players for the Clippers after that on the offensive side is Eric Gordon and Norman Powell. They're always be a threat, especially Norman Powell. And then you also have other players that can go off anytime too, like Batum. You got Bones Highland, Terrence Mann. You got man, they have depth. Anybody can go off any day with this Clippers team. And Russell Westbrook, like before that game, Russ has had a pretty good run with the Clippers, like as far as like efficiency. Like it's gone up since he left the Lakers.
Absolutely.
And I don't expect him to have a 3 for 19 game. If Russ gives you anything, sniffing 20 points, that's a plus in my book. So like it's gonna be a tough out. But we both say the Suns should win. And if they don't, we're going to have a good conversation.
Ooh, it's going to be bad.
It's going to be a good conversation about this team. Like,
the Suns and Curry should be highly motivated.
It should be. This could be CP3's last year. That should be motivation enough. Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, they should win.
For sure.
We got the Wolves and the Nuggets. Man, it's a playoff series. The teams are playing basketball. Say this, just one team is better. That's it. Nuggets in 4. They getting swept. I'm sorry. That's me. Especially after seeing how game 1 went.
Especially, yeah.
They blew them out of the water by second, third. I don't know, what was that? They were up like by 30 at one point. I was like, y'all tripping.
Yeah.
This is not a game right now. I see why they made that the last game. But man, that's my analysis. The Nuggets are better. The Wolves are bad. They're too young or whatever. Nuggets, they show why they're the best team. Jokic shows why he's an MVP caliber player. They have more talent.
Yeah,
that's it. That's my analysis. You can go.
Yeah, man. I think of it this way: Wolves are supposed to run in packs, supposed to be hunters, and this game they were the hunted completely. Jokic ate him up. I think about the the last time Rudy Gobert was talking about, I got him. And Jokic just said to him, brother, I have 40. I was looking at I didn't catch the game. It was late. I went to sleep. I was tired. Sorry, guys. But caught the highlights, and it didn't matter what the Timberwolves tried, honestly. And the Nuggets just have the better team. Honestly, this year for the Nuggets is going to be big with them finally having a healthy team, and they're stacked. If you look at, obviously, Jokic, Jamal Murray's back. He dropped 24, 8 and 8. Aaron Gordon being a strong power forward, he can score in and out. Michael Porter Jr., knockdown shooter. Caldwell Pope, great shooter, having a great year. All of them. Bruce Brown off the bench. They have so much talent. And Minnesota just they look like deer in headlights. Literally didn't know what to do. Jokic, spin move, one-handed finishes, just doing whatever he wanted to. And then on the other end, Minnesota, the high man for them, Anthony Edwards, 18 points. And after that, who was it? Karl-Anthony Towns had 11 points. These are your best, the 1-2 punch right here. 6 of 15, Anthony Edwards. 5 of 15, Karl-Anthony Towns. 40%, 30% is not going to get you a win, especially on the road. Yep. Other than that, man, Rudy Gobert had 13 boards. He had 8 points. But he couldn't do anything with Jokic. Jokic is just too crafty. He's not even, I wouldn't say he's quicker. He's not more athletic than Rudy Gobert. I mean, it's like,
this is more skillful. That's it.
Yeah, he's got a knack for finding ways to impact the game. He didn't even have a high scoring game. He had 13 and 14.
He didn't. He didn't have like a dominating game like that. It's just
he had a dominated game, but just not point wise.
That's what I mean. Like he didn't have like it's not a 30 plus triple double we seen him do.
Right.
Like
he's the offense. He's just driving everybody else, pulling all the strings and making all of the orchestra go. You know what I mean? Like he's the director here.
It's everybody else that it's everybody. They're playing better as a team.
Exactly.
That's literally what that was about yesterday.
I mean, if you look at the box score, all 5 starters double digit scoring. Bruce Brown had 14 off the bench. DeAndre Jordan had 4 points. Like, their starting lineup alone just is super tough.
Yep.
And then on the bench for the Nuggets, Uncle Jeff Green, Reggie Jackson, Caleb Braun, who's been really good this year too, Ish Smith. They have just uber talent, man. And
Reggie Jackson, too.
Yeah.
I believe all that play they did at the end of the regular season, after they secured their playoff spot, really helped a lot. Trying to see who you have on the bench, right? That gives a guy like Braun more confidence. He had a spectacular game on those last regular season games. I forgot who it was against, but I was very impressed. So yeah, it's just at the end of the day, they just don't have enough. But all right, how many games do you give the Nuggets to win?
Man, I'm sure they're gonna adjust. They surprised me in this the plan. I really didn't expect them to win.
I was too, but let's be real. Talking about OKC, we're not that deep or as talented as it seems. It's a difference.
Honestly, I don't think they are gonna get blowed out every single game from here on. But I can't make the case for them to really win. They might get swept.
That's what I'm saying. They might get swept. I can be nice and say 5, but it's still a gentleman's sweep. So it's I don't really see them winning the game, man. They have to.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and Carlton Towns have to go off.
Yeah.
But then you have a chance. A chance.
I feel like Denver feels that sense of urgency. Jokic has won 2 MVPs. Can't get out, second round of the playoffs.
Potentially win the third one.
Could potentially win the third. And now he has his whole team back.
I mean, fully healthy at this point. This is
Jamal Murray wants to come back and do his thing. I feel like they have the urgency. They feel like we are the ones that should be on top of this. Number 1 in the West. If I'm the Nuggets, I'm feeling like this is my time. This is our time to go out here and prove ourselves that we earned this. We didn't, this doesn't just come along with it. We are winners. So I feel like they should be on that type of urgency, that type of mentality. So I'm going Nuggets, man. I see them winning this 4-0 if they stick to what they've been doing.
Right. So we're both the same page. So are you saying officially a sweep or not?
I'm gonna give them a sweep. Minnesota could surprise you with 1, but I don't see them winning multiple games. If they win 1. So no disrespect. I'm just saying. Any Minnesota fans, sorry. Here's what it is.
Yep.